Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the 10th annual town hall for the North County LGBTQ Resource Center. We take a moment as we open our town hall to recognize and honor the Native and tribal communities that are here in our area. We give special thanks to the Lucenio and Kamayi, hoping I'm saying it correctly, tribes, both urban and rural. We honor and acknowledge the long history of these resilient communities, two spirit siblings, and we offer gratitude for this land, which belongs to them. Thank you all. My name is Butterfly Love Hugs, and again, welcome to the 10th annual Town Hall for the North County LGBTQ Resource Center. I am so excited to have, again, to be your host tonight and to share with you all the amazing contributions that the center has made to the community and all of the people that we have served, especially during this time of COVID. We just take a moment just to send you love. We hope that you are well and that everyone is safe. Our first guest I'm bringing on is our board chair, Mr. Aaron. Are you there, Aaron? Is he coming? Well, hopefully Aaron will be able to join us. There he is.
There it is.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Butterfly. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. How are you doing this wonderful evening?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to get the town hall meeting started. Thank you so much for doing this. I know it's another year of remote stuff, but it's better to keep everyone safe. So let's see. Before we get started, I wanted to sort of run down just real quickly. Oh, hey, everybody. I'm Aaron. I'm the board chair. I've been the board chair for about a year and a half. So I wanted to run down real quick just some of the wins and losses that the center has experienced in the past year. We'll start with the wins. First, through Max's advocacy and through the work of the center, we were able to get Rady's Children's Hospital to release an official statement on Intersex Awareness Day. I know Max worked really hard on making sure that the voices of intersex children were heard through at Rady's Children's Hospital. We also received a $60,000 grant from Blue Shield to help the center get vaccinations out to the zip codes with the lowest turnouts. We were able to provide health insurance to our center employees. We hired a new director of operations. We met our $100,000 fundraising goal for our annual gala. We continued the success of the Foodies and Goodies program, and we continued the success of Unicorn Homes. We increased the hours and support for mental health programs, thanks to the support of the Leech Tag Foundation and the Rancho Santa Fe Foundation. Now for some of the losses, I think something that sort of really hit close to home and that has affected our community just recently is the new shelter that was to be opened up in Oceanside. Max worked really hard to try and get LGBTQI awareness training for the shelter, and I think it sort of fell short, and that hit us really personally. I think that on a larger scale, with the record number of anti-trans bills, the continued attack on reproductive rights, and the continued scapegoating of immigrants that has occurred in 2021, both in the previous administration and this current administration, those are some of the larger issues that the center faces going forward. And that's, I think, we're going to touch a little bit of all that and how the center's work sort of affects all of those issues. So I talked about legislation and the way that the government has continually assaulted LGBTQ rights. And it's makes the center really proud to know that we have elected officials who are sort of fighting for what we believe in. So right now, I would like to introduce some of the elected officials who have sort of recorded videos for the town hall meeting. Those elected officials are Congressman Mike Levin, Assemblywoman Tasha Berner-Horvath, and Oceanside Mayor Esther Sanchez.
Hi everyone, Congressman Mike Levin here, representative for California's 49th District. I want to thank Max Desposti and everyone at the North County LGBTQ Resource Center for inviting me to speak with you today. The support, services, and resources that the center provides are invaluable, and I'm so grateful for the critically important work that you do to serve the community. One of the most significant benefits of the center is its ability to make the LGBTQ community more visible and empowered all throughout North County. As you know, a safe and empowering space has not always been available for the LGBTQ community. We've come a long way over the years, and now under the Biden administration, there are historic nominations and cabinet leaders from the LGBTQ community, finally recognizing the diverse America that we truly are. But there's still a lot more work to be done. We must ensure that LGBTQ individuals have the same rights and protections as everyone else. This past year, I was proud to help pass the Equality Act to ensure that all LGBTQ Americans are granted full protections by federal civil rights law. This historic bipartisan legislation reaffirms that freedom from discrimination is a fundamental civil right that belongs to every American. No one should ever lose their job, their home, or live in fear simply because of who they are or whom they love. Although the bill is currently stalled in the Senate, I refuse to give up. 70% of Americans support this legislation, and there's no reason for it not to be the law of the land. We must continue to make our voices heard. We must pressure the Senate to hold hearings, to vote, and to send the Equality Act to the President's desk. I'm proud to stand with you in this fight. So thank you again for everything you do for our community. North County is a stronger place because of you.
And our next video is from Assemblymember Tasha Berner-Horvath.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tasha Berner-Horvath, and it's an honor to serve as your state assembly member for Encinitas, Carlsbad, Oceanside Vista, and Camp Pendleton. It's a pleasure to join you and the North County LGBTQ Resource Center's annual town hall. This annual town hall is a crucial opportunity for all North County residents to learn about the Resource Center's efforts over the past year. While we're not meeting in person, I'm happy that we are able to come together virtually to celebrate the incredible achievements of the Resource Center team. As we enter 2022, we look back at all that we've done to address the issues presented by a global pandemic and look forward to the work that lies ahead. The COVID-19 pandemic created an unprecedented challenge, strains on our healthcare system, increased unemployment, and a high rise in food insecurity, just to name a few. In the early months of the pandemic, people had very few places to turn for assistance. The North County LGBTQ Resource Center not only remained open to continue providing resources to the community, but also worked tirelessly to add services to meet new needs. Resource Center staff worked to help connect families and individuals with food, secure rental assistance, and other types of financial assistance. COVID-19 took challenges we already were trying to tackle them and magnified them. Mental health became one of the most pressing matters as people struggled during self-isolation and as our kids transitioned to virtual learning. This was especially prevalent in our LGBTQ community, where many lost out on opportunities to connect with others, as well as opportunities to seek help when they needed it most. The North County LGBTQ Resource Center team worked to include more mental health services by increasing the number of clinical hours provided at their site. Additionally, the Resource Center team continued to bring people together for virtual engagements to ensure that everyone had access to the much-needed support system. The North County LGBTQ Resource Center is an essential voice for social justice in our community. We count on the center to stand in solidarity with our vulnerable groups that are confronted every day with displays of hate. Most recently, they joined with me and other community leaders and students to speak against the hateful graffiti at the San Diego Academy High School. I am thankful for all the strong voices who continue to stand with those targeted by hate and discrimination to let them know that they're an integral part and welcome part of our community. There are days when the challenge in front of us may seem insurmountable, but we should draw strength and hope from those gathered here today, even if it's just virtual. This is a strong group of community leaders and organizations who have dedicated their lives to serving the community and ensuring everyone knows that they are welcome here. Please feel free to reach out to my office if you need assistance navigating the various governmental programs available, or if you require assistance with a state agency. I look forward to continuing to work with the North County LGBTQ Resource Center to address the challenges in our LGBT community and throughout North County.
And last but definitely not least is Oceanside Mayor Esther Sanchez, who I see is in the comments. Hi.
Good evening, North San Diego County LGBTQ Resource Center staff, friends, families, and supporters. I am Mayor Esther Sanchez, proudly representing the City of Oceanside at tonight's annual Town Hall meeting. Thank you for continuing to provide much needed services, even through such tough times that we've had with COVID. You courageously stayed open, reinventing yourselves to ensure that someone was always there. I look forward to hearing about your successes and challenges and what we can all do to help. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, everybody. I think it's important to note at this point that it wasn't that long ago in our recent past where it would have been difficult to get political elected leaders to attend our town hall meetings. So I think it speaks really highly of the work that the center has done in North County that we have such esteemed elected officials attending today. So thank you. What's the next one? Oh yeah. So next up is of course.
Hey, Aaron.
Yeah. It's so as everybody knows, I'm the chair of the board of directors, but I don't do this work alone, and I could not do this work alone. I rely on our super helpful, super knowledgeable, super active, super advocates board of directors, and I want to take a moment to just introduce everybody that's watching to the board of directors. I'm going to name everybody in no particular order, but it really is the order that they appear on the website, more or less. So let's go through this. So there's me, Aaron Garan. Carlos Tabora is our vice chair. Ken Gradland is our secretary. Joe White is our treasurer. Maria Alshama is board at large. Karina Contreras is board at large. Kai Guzman is board at large. Nikki Faddock is board at large. And our youth advisor, Gregory Richardson, is also part of the board. So right now, I think now that we have our sort of panel up here, we have three of our board of directors, we wanted to sort of touch on some of the issues that we as board of directors address when we really try to get the center to focus on its mission statement. And just to remind everybody, our mission statement is to serve, empower, and advocate for North County's diverse LGBTQ community. And we as the board of directors, that's our job, is to make sure that the center stays true to that mission. And I think we all do a really good job of doing it. If I do say so myself, I mean, I am the chair. So first up, earlier we touched on some of the challenges facing the center going forward and some of the challenges that we've addressed, honestly, since the pandemic. First issue we wanted to address is, or note that in the last year, at least, was the highest amount of anti-trans bills, trying to be passed by state government. So Kai, who is our resident expert on advocacy and community organizing, as an advocate for LGBTQ rights, what has been the impact of these anti-trans bills on our community?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. I humbly will take that. So good evening, everyone. My name is Kai Guzman. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. So as Aaron mentioned, 2021 became the worst year in recent history that was specifically attacking our trans community. About 33 states across the entire country introduced anti-trans legislation, and many of these bills targeted children in schools, which is just really horrific. I think one of the things that really came out of seeing this, right, the similarities between a lot of these pieces of legislation and what a lot of our loved ones also circulated online was this idea that people could police our bodies, right? That somehow people needed to have a say and more power, right, on how people could police our bodies, judge our bodies, and obviously our bodies are not up for debate, right? So while we live here in California, right, with a state with really long history protecting our communities, these bills still really impact people that we know and love in those states, but it also impacts the way that we maneuver through the world, which I think is really important as trans and non-binary people, right? How we maneuver through the world is so important to our everyday lives and safety and our joy, right? And these things impact the culture. They impact the surroundings that we have as well. It impacts how safe we feel going to our own doctors, even though they're here in California. It impacts how comfortable we feel asking for help from our loved ones when we're seeking gender affirming care or when we want to come out, right, and affirm ourselves. It can impact how comfortable we feel at work, at school, and just taking up space and hearing our voice out loud, right? And it can even impact our ability to seek a mental health provider as well. That's why it's really important that for the trans and non-binary folks that are listening here tonight, that you know that we love you, we see you, we hear you, you are our people, we have your back, and we deserve to feel safe and just simply be able to have joy, right, and to be able to smile. So I'm happy to be here tonight as a part of the board for the center with Aaron and all these lovely people up here, because I know that we are providing really critical resources and mental health referrals that a lot of our trans, non-binary, two-spirit, and gender diverse communities need. So know that we're here sending a lot of love and just affirming that today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kai. That's really, really well said. Next, I'll have Karina introduce herself before I ask
Hi,
the question.
everyone. My name's Karina Contreras. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And, it's been so incredible being part of the North County LGBTQ Center, Resource Center. There are not a lot of safe spaces here, especially in North County. I've grown up here my entire life. And so being able to connect with our community in such an incredible dynamic way is so important, and it saves lives. So thanks. It's a pleasure to be here with y'all.
Thanks, Karina. So Karina, Kai touched on this sort of attack on LGBTQ rights in general. Now, on top of the anti-trans bills that are trying to be passed, last year we also saw an increase in the attack on reproductive rights. Why should we, as an LGBTQ community, care about women's rights?
Well, Kai was right on the money talking about, this is body autonomy, right? And women are part of the LGBTQ plus community, right? And also, we have such a lovely rainbow of individuals that we also have individuals who are directly impacted by reproductive rights that also don't identify as women, right? So, it's critical. We shouldn't have to open up our bodies to debate. This is who we are, and we should be able to live authentically. And when we look at reproductive rights and reproductive justice, I'm Latina. There are all, and I'm here, I'm part of the LGBTQ plus community, right? So we have all these different barriers already stacked on top of us. So adding more to that, it's not a healthy situation for the community at large, right? For everybody. When we start invading people's privacy, everybody should be worried about that. And it's just heartbreaking to see us move in this direction. And we see state after state, trying to to remove access to reproductive health. It's not okay. We've moved backwards, and it's a difficult situation, right? And then along with that, having childcare in this country, it just doesn't really exist, right? So there are so many economic situations that we really aren't taking into account when it comes to ensuring that everybody has access to reproductive health and body autonomy.
Great. Thank you so much, Karina. Next up, we have Carlos. Carlos, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight on your Friday night and for joining us. Thanks to the elected officials and then also the board and everybody who supports us. My name is Carlos Tabora, and I am the vice chair here at the center. My pronouns are he, him.
Great. Thanks, Carlos. So we've heard about both Kai and Karina talked about the sort of intersectionality of all these issues that, especially for women's reproductive rights, people might not on its face understand how they are LGBTQ issues. Another major issue that we've had to face in the past year and will probably likely face in the future is immigrant rights. Immigration remains at the forefront of any political discourse in the United States, especially in light of the previous administration's stance on how to treat asylum seekers. Why should members of the LGBTQ community care about immigrant rights?
Yeah, thank you. Well, first off, I want to say that immigration rights are LGBTQ rights, period, end of story. We are one and the same. I'm personally from Escondido in North County. And, I actually looked it up because I wanted to mention tonight, I was always curious on, obviously, Tijuana in Mexico is so close, but I did a little Google search and we're actually 57 miles from the border. And, sometimes it feels a lot closer than that. I think that North County is such a uniquely diverse population, not only with Mexicans, but people coming from all over the world. Immigration is just what our community is. Like you mentioned before, coming from such an incredibly distressing administration and everything that we've had to put up with for that time. And unfortunately, some of it continuing now into this current administration. This is just something that's not going away and something that our community needs to have support for. Growing up in North County, I come from a family of mixed status. Some of us were born here, some of us were not. There are challenges on top of being part of the LGBTQ community that are just very uniquely ours in our area. It's at the center, we fight to find legal services, connect people to advocates that will fight for them, whether it be in court. Aaron, Kai, both of you know all about this, and thank you for what you do. We'll just continue fighting for proper housing. People that are experiencing homelessness in our area. LGBTQ rights are, just immigration rights in general, and we'll just continue to fight for that. And I do also want to make a point to say that your status has absolutely nothing to do with you finding resources at the center. You are welcome. Tu estatus legal en San Diego nunca va a ser un problema para que puedas recibir recursos en San Diego. So thank you for continuing to fight. Thank you, all of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much to our board of directors who offered to answer some of these questions. Thanks. I guess I'll see you at the next board meeting. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Wow, Aaron, that was a lot. First of all, I want to acknowledge and thank everyone that's joining us live from Facebook as well as our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I see some people have been making some comments. I saw Kelly Davis. Thank you so much, Kelly, for joining us. I see Eric Joyce is sending us some love. Mayor Sanchez is on as well. Let's see who else do I see. There's Jennifer. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for being here. And I see Austin. Thank you, Austin, who is our ambassador. And hi, Natalie. Thank you so much, Natalie, saying hey to everyone. Thank you all for joining us and being here for our town hall. So, Aaron, just want to look at, I was taking some notes here. I love that. I think it was Karina that used the term two-spirit. And that so resonates with me because I, first of all, as a Black LGBTQ woman, a very proud Black queer woman, I'm also a Gemini. So, being born in the month of Pride as well. My birthday is June 1st. I get a chance to ring in Pride, and being a two-spirit being, that so resonates with me because that's who I was born to be. As Geminis, we are masculine and feminine. Yes, we are twins, but we're not two males, we're not two females. So understanding that we're at the intersection of just awesomeness, and knowing that we bring that balance and creativity in the world. And as LGBTQ members of this amazing community, I agree. We are just who we are. No matter what, if we take on our masculine qualities, our feminine qualities, or embrace both. I think it's wonderful. And that brings balance, just like there's the sun and the earth, the stars and the moon, there's the moon and the sun, that juxtaposition of, the yin and yang is what helps balance the world. So if I can share any message with the communities out there, if you may be struggling to really embrace who you are, you may be struggling to embrace a family member or a friend or loved one, just know that we are all one, that we are all two-spirit beings, and that we are here just to love and support one another, and we can't move forward as a community, as a world, unless we begin to tear down these differences that society has created for us to see in one another, and just see that for who we are. We're just spiritual beings creating an amazing human experience. And if we can embrace that, this world will be a much better place.
I love that view on queer identity, Butterfly. We get to decide who we are. Nobody can tell us. That's awesome. That's great. Next up on the agenda, what do we got? We have a video, right?
Yes, we do have a video. We have our center video, and then we get to have a conversation with our fearless leader, Max himself. So here's a short video about the center.
Have you been to the center lately? During the pandemic, we've been able to continue serving our community and even grow our services. And we're doing it all right here from our little home in Oceanside. We thought it would be fun to show you around in case you haven't been by in a while. So let's head inside and take a look. When you come inside, the first thing you see, like always, are our amazing staff and volunteers. From answering questions about our programs and services to coordinating referrals and managing our food donation program, we couldn't do what we do without them. It's almost hard to believe that this little space is where countless lives have literally been saved. Here's one of our meeting rooms. Does it look familiar? Before the pandemic, we had a lot of groups using this space for meetings and planning committees and youth events. After 2 years, we know people are anxious to reconnect like before. We also know that we'll need more space to accommodate everyone. We used to have a second, smaller meeting room, but we recently hired a new director of operations, so this space is now Alan's office. Of course, you might remember Max's office. It still looks a lot like it did before the pandemic, but with more papers stacked up on the desk. As we continue to grow our programs and staff, we might have to move Max into a storage closet. And now here we are in our main open space where lots of groups used to meet, including our board of directors. Although we're slowly bringing back a few small groups for meetings, This space isn't really big enough to create social distancing for a group of more than about 6 to 8. Even as COVID becomes more manageable in the future, we recognize that a new way of being together simply means more room. Additionally, we've turned the back part of this room into our Foodies and Goodies pantry. That's one of our new partnership programs where we provide food to the community for free. Did you know that the center provides free mental health services? We currently have 5 therapists seeing over 150 clients, and while we've been able to meet most of them virtually, this little room is our only designated therapy space. And of course, we do have some storage space and our Pride office, but they're all pretty full right now. We've started to create an archive of our history. Who knows what we'll find in the back of some of these rooms? And our free library continues to grow, and that's pretty cool. Did you know we don't even charge late fees? Well, we've come full circle, completing our tour of the little center that could. We're looking forward to seeing you again soon, or maybe for the very first time.
Wow.
Right?
I had never seen that video before. I mean, I just like to give a shout out to Ken Granlund, the board secretary, for putting that together. That's an amazing video. I didn't realize he had such a great broadcasting voice.
Yes, he does. He really does. Well, Aaron, shall we welcome our fearless leader?
I think we should. I think it's about time.
Excellent. Well, there he is. Hi, Max.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
That's good. Thank you. It's so honored to be here. I really enjoyed the conversation so far. It's amazing. Now you know why it takes a village. What amazing team of board of directors that we have, and it's an incredible leadership that I'm honored to represent. So thank you, folks. Thank you so much. And also shout out to Leah Pronovo, that she's actually managing all the in and out and making sure that this event is actually happening. We'll see her a little bit later, but yeah, I just want to make sure that we recognize that too.
Awesome. Thanks, Max. And thanks, Leah, too.
Aaron, I just also want to recognize, Max, you're getting lots of love. We do see your chat. I just want everyone to see the chat. We just cannot respond. So I want to acknowledge that Natalie again gave us a shout out. Donna via Vincent. Donna wanted to recognize, she wanted to thank me for the words of inspiration. You are so welcome, Donna. We are here to love and support you. And if we could do that in any way, please do not hesitate to reach out to the center. Natalie sends her love as well. We have Jennifer and Helen. And again, Esther Sanchez, you are a fantastic leader, Max. So that is from Esther to you. And Rachel gives you a shout out as well as Helen. So everybody, thank you so much. And then Ken. Jennifer gave Ken a shout out for the video.
Thank you.
Thanks. So earlier, Max, I talked about some of the wins that the center's experienced in 2021. Nobody knows more about the work that we did last year than you. I can't even hold a candle to the amount of knowledge that you have in that issue. Can you tell us? There's been a lot of changes in the past year, not only due to the pandemic, but due to the way our fundraising works, the way we're financed, all that stuff. Can you tell us some of the biggest changes that the center has? What the biggest changes that the center has happened in the past year?
Thank you, Aaron. Well, so many that, in fact, I had to write them down a little bit because there is so much. Before we do that, Aaron, I just would like to acknowledge an important loss that our community, our center has experienced this year. On June 12, 2021, we lost our Linda Johnson. Sorry, I still very obviously emotional, but Linda wasn't just an employee of the center. Well, nobody is but Linda has contributed to the success of this center. So I really wanted to honor her presence and her legacy here, because there is no day that goes by that any of us here at the center, our volunteers, our supporters, that don't recall her name. So I just want to acknowledge that, because we had a great year of successes, but they're really based on and standing on the shoulder of people that done a lot of work prior to us too. So a shout out to our Linda Johnson. And a lot of changes. We definitely, I think the biggest steps we took this year was to finally hire a director of operations. see him later, Alan Acevedo. It's not just an addition to the team. I mean, the idea was to really try to respond to the 300% increase of the demands on services that we experienced in the past 2 years under COVID. So we really needed to invest into another support that was full-time here at the center. Then we have our Jerry Nichols that now from front desk coordinator. Now she's a full-time employee of the center, and she's actually she's in so many different capacities. You'll hear from her later, but also she's our office administrator. That we increase hours to dedicate to our unicorn homes. So Leah Pronovo also is part of that as a case manager. We actually had hired a full-time therapist, Anthony Weeks. As you know, we have 5 therapists on site, but adding Anthony was an incredible opportunity because Anthony has specialized on trauma, and it's a specializations also that not many people have here in San Diego County. So he's able to see the most the people that have experienced the biggest challenges here around the center. So we're so proud to have him too. So imagine all of this happened just within a year, and we're making sure this is a growth that's sustainable. That is not just a one-time thing or 1-year thing. So we're trying to work really hard to make sure that we continue to serve the community. And then, of course, we are doing a lot of COVID-related outreach. I'm sure you guys saw us out there doing vaccination sites quite often. So we hire part-time educators and outreach coordinator, which is Karen Fierro, and also with Max Cooley, we added another person on our team for marketing outreach. So incredible growth, a lot of good problems to have because we don't have much space here at the center, and we're running out of space, which is again a good thing to experience. Yeah.
Thanks, Max. I think you touched on my next question, the subject of my next question. Anybody who's been following the social media of the center knows that one of the big projects we're doing right now is the vaccination project. We're trying to reach out to communities that have a lower turnout. That's part of the center's mission statement, just to advocate for the LGBTQ community.
Correct.
What other advocacy projects is the center currently doing or has done in the past?
Well, I think my fellow board members have addressed already some of this, definitely on immigration rights and on reproductive rights and anti-trans bills that we stood against, but more locally, making sure that we have a more inclusive shelter, for our unhoused population. We continue to work on advocacy when it comes to policing in our community and making sure that there is accountability as citizen oversight. So we've done a lot of work in that direction. I would say that the spirit of the center is not just doing charity, because we are not a charity organization per se, in terms like we're not just providing services. We're here to empower people to make sure that they take on ownership of their own destiny. So as we provide services, like we said, mental health and support and food distribution, we always want to make sure that people are in charge of their own decision-making process so that we can educate them, educate ourselves on how to do better. So there's a lot of advocacy that goes through in doing work like that. Access to healthcare, it's another. We work with a lot of service providers here in the region, that insurance companies that when people can afford to have them, still don't have access to full comprehensive affirming gender care, for instance. So we do a lot of advocacy around that too. I'm sure I forgot many others, Aaron, but I don't want to do the laundry list. But we're there. We're here for the people. Pretty much that's the sense of the center. Yeah.
I think we've talked about the services, foodies and goodies, unicorn homes. In the first year of the pandemic, we as a group were sort of worried about what that would mean for the center. I mean, would we have enough funding to support these services? Would we still have a place to reach out to the community? Right. It's the second year of the pandemic, right? How has the center's finances changed, or has it changed? Has it been impacted? How has COVID impacted the center financially?
Well, so we took a leap of faith. We had a lot of support coming from our community. There was definitely a lot of foundations that recognized the valuable services of the center. folks, we just couldn't afford to close the center and just say, okay, we work from home. For the work that we do here at the center, we're exposed every single day. So we needed to be here, and we needed to try to answer to the needs. So the community responded to it. We're so grateful. A lot of foundations that you mentioned before, the Lichta Foundation, Rancho Santa Fe, the San Diego Foundation, many stepped in to support the San Diego County with their COVID relief funds. But also we're realizing that we're not the same organization that was here 2 years ago pre-COVID. We grew so much that truly the space where we're at is now beginning to limit our growth, because imagine hiring new people that they want to be part of the team, and this is literally not a space for them to stay. So when Ken on the video was saying, we're going to put Max in the closet, it wasn't really a joke. I mean, it's like we're trying to figure out how we can share this room by 2 and 3 other people. In the meantime, they were seeking for a better and bigger space, which also, as you know, costs money. So we're doing well in terms of we're sustainable. We're always being. We are never being in a crisis. Do we need more support? Absolutely. Do we need more support for our service? Yes, we do, because we're trying to do so much with so little, and that we get by with every day. So yeah. So I hope that answered your questions.
That does. Thanks, Max. And finally, if anyone watching wants to know how they can get involved, what should they do? How to help?
I think there are so many ways now, thanks to also and Alan Acevedo that is going to come next, is going to introduce that a little bit. But people can always volunteer. The center can donate by going to our website. There are a million ways how to become part of this experience. You can join the board team. You can join an advisory committee. Honestly, there is not limitation. You can bring your skills so that we can all be better. I think volunteering is one way at any capacity that people feel comfortable with, remotely or in person. So everything is possible nowadays, right? So
perfect. Thanks, Max. And you're doing the honors of introducing our next guest, right?
I'm doing that. I just wanted, before we do that, I believe Leah has a couple of slides I would like to show and go over quickly. Those are some of the numbers that in the video we showcased, but we're creating an impact report. We're working on our taxes for 2021. As you know, it's our tradition to share everything openly with you as soon as we know it. So in the meantime, these are the numbers that we were able to already have. So these are the numbers of clinical hours, free clinical hours of gender care that we were able to provide here at the center, 3,100. And 165 people have been taken care of throughout the year. 65 are currently in therapy right now. It's an amazing affirming gender care, behavioral health here at the center that we started a few years back, and it continues to grow. People come to us because they don't trust other spaces that are not queer-led. So all our therapists are really coming from the trans experience and non-binary experience. So folks come here because they really feel more comfortable. So that's one of the numbers I wanted to share. There is another slide next. These are the amount of money we're able to distribute in the community this year alone, $47,000. This is through bus passes, gas, rent checks, paying utilities, making sure that people, because we have a lot of folks that are one check rent away to be homeless. So we have done the work of preventing people falling into chronic homelessness. So all that is the money that was donated by between the county and other foundations to help us to help people to survive the pandemic. So it's an incredible amount that grew from the previous year, and we hope that we can continue to support the community this way too, through relief funds. And then there is one more, I believe. Foodies and goodies. This is the video that you'll see later, but imagine 15,000 plus pounds of rescue food. 2,760 families were touched by the distribution of food that otherwise will go expired. Food is mostly an excuse for us to get connected with the families that come here, because as they come here, they tell us their stories. their community challenges, their personal challenges. So it's an opportunity to create community and be together at the same time. So I believe there is another one maybe, and then we are done. Yes, Unicorn Homes. My glasses don't go that far, but there is pretty much a lot of data that shows how many people we were able to support this year alone. There are a lot of folks that were referred to other service provider, but also directly helped through homelessness, through homeless related services. Close to 46 people were supported as well. So there's a lot of data that keeps coming in because we're finishing up the year. So, but I think this should be sufficient to just to give you an idea, Aaron, and the rest of the board, and to what's coming up next, and understanding how big are the challenges for 2022, because we want to do the same, not just the same, but even better. So thank you.
Thanks, Max.
So I believe I would like to introduce my amazing staff that has been part of this success. First of all, I mentioned before about our new director of operations. Some of you in the community had the opportunity to know him already. It comes from a long experience of leaderships in the community here in San Diego County, but also nationwide. So we were really excited to have Alan in the team, and is here to do, and has done already a lot of work in growing the mission of the center. Alan Acevedo, thank you so much.
Gracias, Max. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Butterfly. Aaron, you're doing an amazing job of representing us and giving us a platform to continue to speak about the work that we get to do here. I feel so lucky almost every single day that I get to come here to the center, because I know how much of a privilege it is to be able to uplift our community, to provide services, to create a platform to empower people, and to help build linkages for our community. Because we know, despite all of the advancements that we've made, that we continue to see pushbacks in our communities and lack of resources, especially in rural areas. But I'm excited about those challenges and opportunities. And I know Max and I get to talk about those every single day. And I know that I am leaning on all of the previous experiences that I have to help support the center here. I know one of my earliest LGBT activisms was as an organizer for the No on Prop 8 campaign. And I know that I am relying on the skills that I learned there to manage volunteers in terms of how we're rolling out our new volunteer program, and in terms of whom I'm looking to hire to be our new volunteer specialist, which is a position that we're hiring for right now. I know that Max and I often lean on my legal expertise and my background in law to help shape our policies and procedures here for the center, because as we work with our current staff, we're also looking towards the future and the people and capacity that we're going to need to have to be able to meet all of our growing needs. And I'm excited to be part of helping shape that. And I think, you know, personally, I feel an immense responsibility to continue to represent Latinos, and as an HIV positive person, to be able to carve out space for people who have been marginalized in the past and continue to experience that kind of stigma and social isolation. And I feel so incredibly proud to continue to work with you, with the board of directors, and with all of our community stakeholders. And I like it so much that I moved here to North County, despite being a longtime resident of South Bay and then the city of San Diego. And now I'm a resident of Vista and get to learn a whole new part of the county even better than I did before.
That's great, Alan. Thank you so much. It's definitely a pleasure not just to have you, but also to rely on those experiences, because the way we're growing, we need more and more people coming with their own insights, right? And different backgrounds as well in the experience. So not just North County related, but throughout the county and the region as well. So that's really exciting. And in fact, I believe we have a video now that shows about foodies and goodies, and how our Jerry Nichols is going to come up along with Leah on stage here. And also Alan will are part of this video that's really cute. We wanted to show you all. Yes, Leah, we can go with the video. Thank you.
This is how it works. We pair certain businesses that have food that can be donated with local community partners in order to establish a process and a recurring pickup schedule that is mutually beneficial.
Jimbo's and Feeding San Diego have been working together for many years now. When we started with Feeding San Diego, they sent their team out to our stores. We met our donation partner, they met our staff. We kind of took a look at how it actually is going to work step by step, start to finish, to make sure that it's easy on our team and then easy on the donation partners as well, the days that they come and pick up.
Every week we go to Jimbo's and other retailers. We pick up produce and other things from them. We bring them back to our center up in Oceanside, where we weigh them and kind of track everything that gets brought in, whether it's fresh fruit, dairy, meats, other items as well, so that we could report that back. And then we produce bags that we then distribute out to our members.
There's a lot that I learned through Feeding San Diego. I didn't realize the impact on the environment by all that waste. It's perfectly good, healthy, amazing food. We were very fortunate to be able to distribute fresh rescued apples, oranges, and a ton of vegetables.
It's still perfectly good and edible, and we know that because people keep coming back for more.
Once that routine is in place, it's super smooth, super easy, and it actually creates a lot less work. You're not having to take out food to the dumpster or to the compost bins. You're actually just setting it aside for someone else to take.
So I'm really grateful for all of the partners that we're able to work with, the retailers and also Feeding San Diego, that make this process very easy for us to connect with local vendors that we know in the community but we don't necessarily have a one-on-one connection with. And Feeding San Diego really helps bridge that gap so that we're able to help out our community members and do it on a recurring basis. I know for a lot of the families this gives them a sense of security and somewhere where they could go every week and have a sense of community.
I'm not only grateful for Feeding San Diego, our community is, our center is, our clients are, with all of the retailers out there providing food for us. Thank you, because you're saving lives.
Wow, a shout out to our partners of Feeding San Diego, but also to our amazing staff that made this happen. I have to tell you, the secret behind this program is truly Jerry Nichols. I know she's going to join us in a second, along with our, hi Jerry.
Hello, everyone.
I don't know if Leah can come and join us now, if we are too many on the stage. Leah is managing everything, and now she's talking to us as well, so it's multitasking for sure. Jerry, I just wanted to, obviously, you are behind Foodies and Goodies, so we saw the video. It's the outcome of your dedication. What else would you like to share with us tonight about the important work that you do, the thousands of calls that you receive? And yeah, if you can share a little bit about that, that would be great.
Absolutely. First, I'd like to say I'm proud to be a part of the AAPI queer community. We have been fortunate to keep the doors open since last 2020 July. And with that, along with the phone calls and the folks that are walking in the center, the food distribution program, I think, has not only brought our queer community together, but it's also allowed us to meet people, like you said before, that we probably would never have met had we not been able to keep the doors open. And for some people, just provide something as simple as food. There's such a huge food disparity out there within our communities. So we want to take that stigma away, more importantly, and say this isn't just a food program. We're providing space for people to come in for no reason whatsoever and to pick and choose and take home as much food as they like. So with that, we're able to provide other communities, individuals, and families as well. In addition to that, with the peer support that we have, the youth that come in with their families, providing information for them to get support. I would most importantly like to give a shout out to our volunteers. Being a volunteer first before Linda brought me on, I know the importance of the growth of the center and the importance of having a volunteer next to me and with me through Foodies and Goodies and here at the front desk. So mostly Linda, sorry. I hope I'm making you proud.
Thank you, Jerry. Of course you do. We know that. And I have to say that when I read the report of 1,600 calls at the center this year, I know that for some people might feel like, oh, well, that's maybe not too many, but we know that every single call, sometimes it's a crisis. It's a person behind the phone that wants to meet and talk to you in particular and seek for resources. So it's just incredible the amount of people that are reaching out that sometimes we feel like overwhelmed, right? So truly, you're doing an amazing job. And goodness and goodness is just more the what people know sometimes, so the visible effort you put into it, but it's everyday challenge for sure, and satisfaction too. So thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you to the board. Thank you, Max, Alan, staff. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without all of you.
All of us feel the same. Yes, for each one of us. Leah, thank you for being here and making it happen tonight. As you all know, Leah is very well known for being the case manager of our Unicorn Homes. I mean, she's also the chair of Gender Advocacy Project, our high-tech specialist. She does a lot of things at the center. But perhaps, Leah, if you want to share a little bit beyond the amazing program of Unicorn Homes that was established a few years ago to support our homeless youth in particular, I know you work a lot as a case manager with many other people. So, yeah, if you want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, just first to actually correct you. Unicorn Homes was actually established 3 years ago now.
3 years.
So we had a year before COVID, and we actually helped quite a few youth in that first year. But yeah, since COVID, though, one thing that I'd like to bring up is that a lot of more of the people that are coming in are not in that youth age group. Unicorn Homes, as most people know, is ages 14 to 25, and the majority of those are in that transitional aged youth group. But because of COVID, and there's a lot more people, despite the protections in place because of COVID for rental assistance, a lot more people are finding themselves homeless and on the street and in need of services. So we've been doing a lot more outside of that aged youth group. So they come in, we typically usually do referrals to other programs. Sometimes they just need help getting medical or just help medical needs. Sometimes it's just help with their utilities, or sometimes they actually do need housing. And currently we don't have housing ourselves. That's something I'd love to see in the hopefully near future that we could do. I got dreams, but yeah, we actually do referrals to other LGBTQ friendly organizations. So we work a lot with interfaith. And as Aaron said, there was a huge disappointment when that shelter, one of the real bad disappointments and setbacks for our community were having that organization that won the bid for the shelter. But hopefully they're open to learning. So, but for right now, we're working with other organizations around, to including the Oceanside homeless outreach team, and doing hotel referrals to them when there's hotel rooms available with that facility. So there's all sorts of things that we're doing for additional in case management, helping people get sign up for Social Security disability when that's possible. And yeah, the list goes on and on of what we do.
It really does. And Leah, I think not many people understand that when we say we 46 people were supported throughout this year alone between referrals, but also direct support that we provide in terms of housing. It's a lot of work because that comes down to almost one person per week. And that those are people that comes with a lot of need of support that they need. First of all, they need to be not dehumanized, right? Because a lot of times when people are seeking for support, that's what happened. People are looking at them in a way that is usually not respectful and supportive, and we do the opposite here. So kudos to you, Leah, for all the effort and the emotional toll that takes sometimes to even navigate through and the patience that takes to navigate through the system. So thank you so much again, and thank you for supporting this team today in online. So
my pleasure.
Thank you, staff. This is not all the staff that we have. As you know, actually, Butterfly, we introduced another of our staff members that is here today. I'm asking our current staff to log off so that the platform allow us to have our next one. So thank you, Alan, again. Thank you, Jerry, for being here. And Butterfly, back to you because you know who to introduce next.
Thank you, Max. Appreciate you. Well, our next guest and staff here at the center is one of my most favorite people in the whole wide world. I absolutely love collaborating with her and working with her. And I'm talking no other than our amazing chair of our Pride by the Beach Committee, Lisa Nava. Come on in, Lisa. Oh, I miss you.
Thank
Hello,
you.
hello.
Hello. Oh, wow. What an amazing place to be tonight. Really great.
Thank you so much. So, Lisa, come on. Let's talk about Pride.
Okay. My name is Lisa, as Butterfly said, she, her, and this is my 5th year, going into my 5th year as Pride Director. And we have a lot to celebrate from 2021. I thank you, Butterfly, for being our co-chair last year. If many of you did tune in and watch our virtual programming, we were able to actually have a hybrid event last year where we went out in the community, Escondido, Vista, and Encinitas, and Oceanside, and met just an amazing amount of people out in those communities. And then we had a virtual show, which was very successful thanks to all the effort of our volunteers. Jerry mentioned the volunteers before, and we couldn't have a Pride program without them. So
right,
kudos to all of them. In 2021, we did a virtual program, and drum roll, please, because in 2022 we are coming back in person. We're going to do it this year. And our festival is held on June 11th, 2022. There's a few new things this year. One is that our time has changed. We are going from 12 to 6 instead of 11 to 5. That's something new. Another new addition, and we heard about Linda Johnson earlier today, but we do want to honor Linda and really give a percentage of our proceeds from Pride and the festival to the Linda Johnson Scholarship Fund. We really can't talk about Pride and what the center does without talking about Linda. June 12th, 2022 is when we lost her, and we will honor her every day going forward. So that's something very exciting and such an honor to bring to Pride by the Beach this year, is honoring her with the scholarship fund. We've been in the planning, Butterfly. You know, we're deep in the planning and ready to move forward. We will have a community stage, a main stage, a dance tent this year. And really tonight I heard so many different messages about what our theme relates to, and that's being together. There is not one component of what we do at the center that could stand alone by itself. You've heard voices tonight of how the community came together and actually funded keeping the doors open. How we came together, and we're going to continue to come together and fight the anti-trans laws and fight to protect our youth. You know, Alan says the volunteers and being honored to really uplift voices and develop leadership And that's a way that we come together through Pride every day with our volunteers and, getting our message out about our really rich and diverse community. Finally, I'd like to just share, we heard about the mission, and Pride by the Beach shares the vision of the North County LGBTQ Center. And our vision is living in a world and a community free of social stigma, free of a space that's safe and free of violence, and coming together, to celebrate the rich and diverse history that we have. And we're going to do that on the streets of Oceanside this year, standing together, uplifting each other's health and our well-being, learning how to thrive together, and standing in solidarity with all of those that we have lost and that face fear and violence across the country. So I hope everybody will join us in envisioning this world and making it happen on June 11th and every day after that. Yeah.
Well, to the community, if you joining us on Facebook or through our Pride page, if you have not attended our Pride event, you want to come out this year. We have a very family-friendly event. So it is a dry Pride. There is no alcohol served at our Pride. It is family friendly. So if you have kids, come on out. We'll have a kid zone. We'll have some fun for the adults too. But this is an amazing event, and it's right downtown Oceanside. So Pride by the Beach, literally the beach is just a couple of blocks away. So come on out. If you have, if your employer has an ERG group and you're looking at possibly having a booth, please reach out. We'd love to have you. If you're an organization that wants to sponsor, there's various sponsor levels. We love to have you. And we could always use volunteers. So again, if you're within an organization and you want to come out with your ERG group, or again, a nonprofit that wants to participate and have some of your members earn some, maybe you have some teens or youth that may want to earn, some volunteer hours, please, the Pride by the Beach event is definitely an event that you want to connect with. And we look forward to having fun with you this year. It's also my birthday month. So again,
my little birdie told me we might even see Butterfly fly her wings on our stage. So
yes.
Looking forward to that. Yeah.
Thank you.
We do have about 15 volunteers that have joined us. So if you want to work the day of the event, sign up through our website. We'll be in touch, and can't wait to see you in person.
Elisa, I wanted to remind folks, it's been 5 years for you as well with the team of Pride. So time goes fast. So thank you so much. 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
Okay.
Thanks, Lisa.
So
Thank
for
you,
Michelle,
guys.
we did have a question in the chat. Michelle, if you're meeting for our Pride, she asked what our theme this year is being together. So come on out, Michelle. We love to have you. Just lots of love in the chat from Becky. I just wanted to acknowledge Carolyn is sending lots of love. Ari, Kai, is it Michael? We have Jennifer. Again, thank you all. We can see your comments. We can't, us here on the broadcast, we cannot respond, but we want you to know that we see your comments and we appreciate all your love and support. Thank you so much.
Butterfly, I think, thank you for doing that. I know that we are at the end, but usually we like to reserve some time if there are any questions from our audience, so that we can give them some space. If that's the case, I don't see the chat. If you see anyone that would like to ask any questions, this is the time to do it before we close. Am I right?
Right. I know Aaron answered one question because someone asked about if we rescue fuel from the Tri-City area stores, and I believe Alan reached out, and we do not at this time, correct?
Correct. Yes.
But we are always looking to expand those partnerships and those connections. So we will, keep trying to see other organizations that we can partner with for those programs. Thank you so much. Lots of love also for the Linda Johnson Scholarship Fund. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that, Lisa? Is Is it just for education, or is it just a general scholarship?
I'll toss that back to Max, because I think the board and the board of the directors and Max are developing exactly how that will be implemented. Our job at Pride by the Beach is going to be to spread the message of Pride through a lens of Linda Johnson, and to support our youth in whatever way we can, and to raise a little money for that fund.
Right, correct. And thank you, Lisa. I last year, as a memory to Linda Johnson, that she loved and supported the youth here at the center. We wanted to create a scholarship, which we raised some money for already. A lot of people donated the day of the memorial last year. And the scholarship will go to our youth here in North County. We're creating a way and a format how our youth can apply for it. But it's going to be very, as Linda was, very approachable, and making sure that our youth needs are going to be met. So yeah, the scholarship is still growing, and the board will assess a little bit the guidelines for the scholarship and so forth. I know it's called scholarship, but it's not going to be related to school related work. It could be anything. That's for sure. Yeah.
Excellent. And Lisa, I do have one question from Lee. She wants to know, she wasn't able to attend our volunteer meeting for Pride on the 22nd. Is there another meeting scheduled coming up soon?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is February 8th. And our group is open. You're welcome to join us. We meet a couple times a month with a little bit of work on the side from now until June. And if you would like information, just email me at lisa@pridebythebeach.org, or sign up on our website at www.pridebythebeach.org to learn about all the details and how to.
That's great. Butterfly, if you see any other questions, I know people are getting ready for dinner. We passed 7 o'clock.
I don't see any more. I don't see any more, Max.
Okay, then I think you can make the honors to close the event today, so that we can see everyone live in person in the next few days as well.
It says that we're going to close with the slide from our sponsors.
Yeah, no, I'm saying we are going to close. Yeah, because I just realized it's also already 7 o'clock. So if there are no other questions, we can close.
Yes, yes. There are no other questions, Max.
Broadcasting, yeah. So you can just, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much. We really appreciate everyone that was attended tonight. Please share. Please share. Come by the center, get involved, volunteer, donate. Come by, see us. Pride by the Beach is coming up. We just absolutely love our community, and we want to just send, our love and support to all of our LGBTQ family, not only just here in North County, but just all over the world. We send love to everyone, and thank you so much. Thank you, Tammy. I'm our ASL interpreter. Thank you so much for being here. Again, Leah, all the staff, all the board of directors, Jerry, Aaron, Alan, thank you all so much for all of your love and support, and as well as our elected officials, Mike Levin and Tasha Horvath. Let me make sure I get her name correctly. Bona Horvath, as well as Mayor Sanchez. Thank you for your comments and your support, and to our sponsors as well.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. We love you too, Beth. Thank you so much for the love. Everybody in the chat that put love for us in the chat. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ashley. We appreciate you. Vincent, thank you so much. You're welcome.
Get me out of here.
Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.